Please welcome Ashley Bellevue, Senior Director of Employee, Executive, and Thought Leadership Communications.
Hello, everyone. Woo! Welcome back from your break. I hope it was a good one. On to our next session. At Booking.com, we have 6 key focus areas that we have set to ensure that we continue to grow in ways that benefit all of you. But in this session, instead of hosting a panel where I speak to 8 leaders, we're going to hear leaders on each of these topics in what we're calling lightning talks. Well, they'll get 7 minutes, and 7 minutes only, to pitch their priority. And we will be timing them. Trust me, you will see the clock behind them. We wanted to add a little fun, break up your session. So, to get us started, and to set the context for how we picked these priorities, and how they're helping drive forward our vision and mission, I'd like to welcome to the stage Rob Ransom, SVP of Corporate Strategy and Business Development.
Thank you, Ashley, and good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you all for taking the time to be here today. I know we're all busy, we all have choices, and it's great that you've chosen to spend some time here with Booking, hopefully strengthening your relationships and building some new ones. As Ashley mentioned, I'm going to talk a little bit about context, right? We've got a lot of focus areas. You're going to see some incredible information about the work we've been doing in the 6 major areas that are driving our strategy. But I'm going to step back and say, help you understand a little bit of how our long-term thinking that we do at the company, how our strategy leads us to these 6 priorities. So let's do that. When we talk about context and long-term thinking at Booking, we always start with our mission. Make it easier for everyone to experience the world. Now, I love our mission. I find it motivating. I think it's right on point. It drives not only me, but 10,000 colleagues around the world to work every day to do this. And there's 3 things I want you to know about our mission. First is we take it very seriously. It is intentional. Every word is thought about. The ones highlighted there, easier. I think that speaks for itself. Everything, we all want things to be easier. Everyone, this is important. Travel is for everyone, right? From all walks of life, from all backgrounds, every person should have the opportunity to travel. And experiences, it's broad. That can be travel, that can be business, that can be leisure, that can be all of the things that we do that enrich our lives. It's very intentional. It's a great mission. 2, it goes without saying, but Booking.com has no hope of pursuing this mission successfully without all of you, without our partners. We together have to work to serve those travelers and make it easier for everyone. 2. And 3, this mission will never be done. We will never be able to say mission accomplished. Like all great missions, actually, it's a never-ending journey. You can't imagine actually someone saying, well, it's easy enough now. There's no more work to do. Or enough people are traveling. We don't need to make it possible for a few more people to travel. That's not going to happen. But that's okay. That's what keeps us moving and keeps us moving on the journey. So that's our first thing, mission. Now let me go to the second one, our vision. And so a vision, just so we use the language, a vision is where do we want to be in the future, describing a future reality that doesn't exist today. And for us at Booking.com, our vision is the connected trip. This connected trip is something that we're working toward. It's going to take us a decade or more. This is not a short term. A good vision can't be too easy to reach, but it also can't be unreachable, right? We're going to push the organization. We're going to work with all of you. We're going to work with our travelers to deliver this future, this reality in the future. So what is the connected trip? The connected trip is around transforming how people plan, book, and enjoy their travel. It's the next wave, looking forward. For us, that means expanding beyond our history and accommodations, but still keeping accommodations at the center of our business. But it's also rethinking and hopefully reinventing how travelers plan travel, how they experience their trip, how they can leverage technology to make things easier, and how they can work with partners and all of you who provide those services to provide new, better, easier experiences to drive more travel and more satisfaction. That's really the connected trip at a high level for us. But I want to share 3 things about why the connected trip. And as we went through our discussions over the last several years, why did we end up and focus on this vision? Why did we point the entire organization for a decade to achieving this vision? And guess what? I like things in 3. There's 3 things I'm going to point out. First is our travelers, they need and they want these services. They tell us this. 9 out of 10 trips involve more than one element of travel. Now, this is not surprising at all, but it is 9 out of 10. Almost everybody, they not only need a place to stay, but they need to get there, or they need to do something when they're there, or all of the above. And all of you together, we want to meet that need. And asking our customers, our travelers, to be the integration of all that just doesn't make sense. Why don't we do it for them, make it easier? That's the first thing. The second thing we did is our research team did a lot of asking of our travelers and said, when you're thinking about planning and booking travel, your next trip, you've obviously got a lot of choices. What are the most important factors when you're thinking about, okay, I'm going to purchase more than one service from one organization, from one provider? And I'll show you the top 3 things our travelers said. Any guesses? You can shout it out. Any guesses? I'll start with number 3. Flexibility, right? No surprise, customers want to be able to cancel, they want to be able to adapt when things change. The last few years have shown us that things change in sometimes rapid and unexpected ways. Flexibility is really important, and enabling that is part of the job. 2, hopefully 0 surprise here. I think anyone who spent more than 10 minutes in the industry recognizes that travelers of all across the spectrum are focused on getting great value and great prices for what they do. But the most important thing that travelers have said when they're thinking about purchasing these services is trust. 1 minute. Trust. And trust, this is critical, and this is very exciting for us and motivating, because we all know that trust is not something you can purchase from Google. It's not something you can put in a TV campaign and just claim it. It's something that you earn by connecting travelers with partners, literally billions of times over days, years, decades, and you build up that trust and you build that reputation. And so the third thing I want to tell you about is, travelers trust Booking.com. And this is why this gives us so much confidence that we're the organization that can work with all of you to serve travelers and deliver this connected trip. When we ask customers after they've used Booking.com, how many of you are likely to rebook? 90%, 9 out of 10. The other thing that's even better is and customers who've used more than one service, it's even higher, 93% last time we checked. So customers trust this organization and use that. That's why we think we can deliver the connected trip. In the next hour, you're going to hear a lot more details about our focus areas and looking forward on how we're working hard to build those different elements to deliver that connected trip and make that vision a reality. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Rob. 7 minutes flies by. Up next, you just heard Rob talk a lot about our long-term vision of the connected trip, so no surprise to you that one of our key focus areas this year is making sure we're making progress on that connected trip, building the connective tissue, building out the verticals. To share a little bit more on our progress that we made so far and what we hope to do this year and beyond, I'd like to welcome to the stage Matthias Schmidt. He is our SVP of Trips. Oh, it's a duo, I should say, so double the trouble. Matthias Schmidt, our SVP of Trips, and Austin Shepard, VP of Engineering.
Thank you very much, Ashley, and good morning, everybody. My name is Matthias Schmid. I'm the SVP for the Trips business unit. And what we do in Trips is we manage all the verticals that are sitting alongside our accommodation business. Car rental, airport taxi, flights, insurance, and our attractions business.
Everything but the stay, right? Good morning, everyone. Good to see you all. My name is Austin Shepard, and I work closely with Matthias. I'm the VP of Engineering at Booking.com for trips. Now, we're working across the business at Booking.com to connect the trip. This supports our mission to make it easier for everyone to experience the world.
But we're not only adding value to our travelers, we're actually also adding a lot of value to you as our partners, because our core objective is truly to remove friction in the travel industry.
That's right. And I know we've all heard the term connected trip, not only several times today, but before. Break it down for us. Tell us exactly, what is the connected trip, Matthias?
Very good question. Connected trip, and Rob already talked about it before. A connected trip itinerary is an itinerary that includes more than only one vertical. So let's take Sarah. Sarah is coming to Booking.com, is booking a flight to Paris, and then she adds an accommodation booking also in Paris. And while she is in Paris, she decides to come back to the app and actually book a ticket to see the Louvre. Or another example, we have the Smith family. The Smith family just booked 2 hotel rooms in a boutique hotel in Barcelona, and they want to have an easy transfer from the airport to the city, and they decide to also add an airport taxi to their booking. So these are 2 examples of a connected trip.
We build towards this connected trip based on something that is a proven customer need. This is based on data. It's based on science. Travelers tell us, the majority of our travelers tell us that they find it quite difficult to plan and search and book their trip. And we're convinced that we here at Booking.com, we've got the capability to help solve that booking problem for them, but also at the same time deliver value to you, our partners. So tell us a little bit, Matthias, what have we done so far to deliver this connected trip?
So Rob again mentioned that it's most probably kind of a 10-year road, right, that we're on. And we embarked on this journey already a couple of years ago. Until now, the focus was very much on scaling our verticals. Our car rental business is a fully mature business, very good geographical coverage. But all the other verticals are fairly new verticals. And we actually invested a lot in scaling these verticals during the last 2 years. In our airport taxi business, we added public transportation options, we added on-demand rides. Flights wasn't existing 3 years ago. We have a flights option now in more than 50 countries. Attractions as well. We offer attractions in more than 1,200 cities on this planet. So really a lot of scaling that happened during the last 2 years. But besides scaling, we actually also launched a lot of new product features, right? And both across the web and across the app. I think you can give us a little bit more information on that, Austin.
I absolutely can. You know, we've been building some of what I call the connective tissue across those verticals and make it easier for customers to be aware of and book across verticals. So some improvements on the traveler experience and just making them aware that we are more than just hotels. Yes, we're very big on accommodations, but we've got all of these other amazing products as well. So we've been working on cross-sell work to make sure the customers that are booking a particular product know about all of the other relevant products for them and make it easier for them to book. So for example, making it easier for a customer to reserve a rental car after they've booked their hotel room, or for a customer that's just booked a flight for them to then follow up with an accommodation booking. But that's not all. Obviously, this is just the beginning. That's not enough. Another thing that we're working on, it's quite complex, but we're deep into it, is making it easier for customers to combine more than one product together as a bundle that's part of one seamless, easy-to-use transaction.
So we already mentioned, a lot of product features that we focused on during the past 2 years, but also this year we have a lot of new things in store. And while we have now scaled verticals, the focus is now really to make it more customer-centric and actually focus on customer experience. And again, some of the things that we're working on. Flights, it's all about making it very transparent,
Transparency.
Transparent, thank you very much. It's a complex product. There is a lot of unbundling, a lot of ancillaries, right? And we actually want to make it easy to show these products. Also for airlines, a lot of focus on branded fares. We want to make it very visible so that customers can actually upsell. On the attraction side, a lot of focus on our app. We're working on a fully native app experience, which we're going to launch during the next couple of months. So a lot of things happening. We also always focus on growing these verticals in a very responsible way. So sustainability is also an absolute core focus. For example, in our airport transfer business and in our cars business, we added a lot of electric vehicles and made it very easy for customers to put filters to select these options. And in flights, we actually show CO2 emissions already in the search results.
Indeed. And on the topic of transport options, this is something pretty cool that we've released recently. We're helping travelers to get to their stay from the airport by providing them recommendations on transport options. Should I rent a car? Should I get an airport taxi, etc.? So we'll show them drive distance and time and allow them to make an informed decision based on this information, showing these multiple relevant options. Now, bringing it back to the connected trip, we're helping travelers with value by experimenting with promotional offers that encourage travelers to book more than one vertical product, right? And bringing it back to all of you, the partners who have joined us here this week at Click Amsterdam. Matthias, tell us all, why is a multi-vertical OTA good for our partners?
All right, in 5 seconds. Because we bring new customers and we bring better customers. And I think this is the core proposition that we have for you as our partners. Thank you very much. And back to Ashley.
Thank you.
Very impressive. New customers, better customers, our value proposition. Up next, you heard them talk about different verticals that we're exploring in the Connected Trip. So now for a topic that's really taking off, flights. To provide an update on how built-in and integrated flight products will also provide value to all of you as our partners, I'd like to welcome to the stage Marcos Guerrero. He's our Senior Director of Flights. Marcos.
Thank you, Ashley, and hello, everyone. A few years back, I was actually working on a company selling banners. Coming from a family of architects, lawyers, teachers, they were wondering, what do you do? Fast forward, COVID came. Marcos, how can you be actually selling flights? No one is flying. And I was having a hard time to explain what was actually happening. For all of us, it's been a tough time, but for all of us in flights, it's been even tougher. But the good thing is, people is back flying. If you took a flight coming over here, or if you're planning to have a vacation soon, or you had a vacation quite recently, planes are full, airports are busy. So people is eager to fly again. IATA, which is the most reputable airline association that exists, is saying that by 2024, 4 billion travelers, 4 billion flight travelers would actually be taking a plane. Which means by 2024, we will be bigger, the industry will be bigger than it was in 2019. So very rapidly, we see the demand, the appetite of customers, travelers, to be actually flying and getting to their desired destination. Now, what is flights, or the wall of flights, the vertical of flights, bringing to the different partners and different type of partners? So let me give you a few examples so you can kind of engage and see the value this is actually going to bring. For accommodation partners, to start with, we know the travelers, the flight they're taking, the airport they're arriving to. We know how many people are traveling together. We can tell you at what time they should actually be ready to do the check-in at your hotel. And that is data we have, and that is data we are willing to share with you guys, so the experience the customers, the travelers have in your property is top class. For car rental partners and ride partners, we also know how many people are in that group, and most importantly, we know how many bags do they have with them. So imagine they come a family of 4, $8. And they had chosen to take a small Fiat 500, small car. So if you know that, and you know it's almost physically impossible to fit 4 people, $8 in a Fiat 500, maybe you're ready to offer a nice and timely upgrade to that family of 4, so they can actually fit in the car and travel to their destination. What about delays? They happen. We can't control that. Bad weather, mechanical issue, someone had forgotten to board the plane, they need to unpack the bag from the hold. We can tell you if there is a delay. And if you have restricted pickup hours for the car, or you're waiting for the customer to arrive to the airport, or even so, your check-in desk closes at 11 p.m. and that customer is arriving at 12:30. We can tell you. So we can help you get that experience to the right spot so that traveler remembers a perfect pickup, perfect car driving experience, and perfect stay. For airlines, and just a bit of a teaser, we give you access to more than 50 countries today, different profiles, all types of geographies, different types of travelers, and we have and are building a platform for you to showcase the products you put so much love into. Call it the airport experience, call it the in-flight experience, call it the business class, call it whatever you want to call it. We want to be your retailer of choice. We want you to choose us because we want to help you reach out to customers that will become travelers that will choose you instead of choosing another one of the airlines. Concluding, flights brings a chunk of opportunities for all of us. Opportunities that do exist because the flight part of a trip is an important part of the trip. And by having Booking playing in that vertical and playing a critical role, not only for the airlines, but also for whatever comes after, we can help you increase your business, offer better service, and get at the front of customers that are really in the mood of traveling. What's actually better than being able to speak with a customer that we know is actually going next weekend to Rome? We know where he's going. Why we wouldn't want to speak with that customer? Why we wouldn't offer that customer something unique? So that customer, that family, that traveler chooses you as a way to complete and continue their journey. For more details about flights and a bit of like a call to action, please show over in the other side of the building. There's a full session this afternoon at 3 p.m. for flights. Please come join us. You'll see exciting things coming, exciting things that are already there that you may have not come across, and you'll get to meet the team and obviously have the opportunity to have more one-to-one conversations. But as I said, flights is back. We want to play an important role, and we want to make flights an important part of the trip from the customer, playing with you, the partners, and obviously playing with the travelers. Thank you.
Well done, Marcos. Didn't even need the time. No, I'm just saying well done. Thank you. Great. Moving right along, as you have heard at the start of our event this morning, Booking.com is making a shift to how we develop products to be less, say, bookings-focused, more customer-focused, more customer-centric. And to share more about our efforts to create a differentiated experience for those customers or those travelers who spend more, stay longer, maybe cancel less, travelers we're calling our high-value travelers, I'd like to welcome to the stage Director of Product, Amy Leavenworth.
Thanks, Ashley. Hi, everyone. Good morning. I am Amy Leavenworth. I am the Director of Product for Genius, which is our loyalty program at Booking. And as a leader of product teams, we live and breathe customer needs every day. And in the 8 years I've been at Booking, most of that has been focused on making it easier to transact on our platform. But as we've mentioned, we are shifting our focus, going from transactions to travelers, because we want to go further, right? We want to engage with our travelers in new and unique ways, really to create enhanced experiences that go beyond just the transaction. And our first major step in this direction is investing in our high-value travelers and their needs. And this is a segment that isn't just critical to our business, but is also one that's quite incremental and valuable for you, our partners, as well. But much like our partners, not all of our travelers are the same. So there is no one-size-fits-all solution that will work to address all of their needs, which is why we are working on differentiated experiences that we can deliver through Genius, but also through other initiatives within the company, all with the aim of growing and retaining and acquiring more of these high-value travelers. So what do we know about them, right? How do we think about high-value travelers? So we have analyzed all of their characteristics, and when we do that, we see that we have 5 distinct profiles, right? From the occasional leisure traveler to the family booker or the solo business traveler. But we also want to look at their behavior and how they stand out against other segments. And what we see is that they travel more often, they spend more, right? And they stay longer. But in addition to this, we also see that they cancel less, they book further in advance, they book higher room types, and the majority of them come direct to Booking.com through our app or through other free channels. But behind this data, we've also been doing quite a bit of research, right? Talking to high-value travelers, getting to know what they need, trying to understand what's behind all of these numbers. And what we see is that they have fundamental expectations and standards around ease, around the quality, right, of inventory, and the trust in the service that they're going to get. But they also have desires for more personalized experiences, more and better exclusive benefits. They also want control over how they spend or use those benefits, and maybe above all else, a real strong desire for flexibility. So with this, we also see there's something that's a little bit less tangible that they want, and it's these. Jelly beans. So I'll tell you the story behind it so you have the context. But through the research we've been doing with high-value travelers, we talked to many of them about different loyalty programs, different benefits, what they value. And we talked to one gentleman. His name was Nick. He was a business traveler, part of a hotel loyalty program, and he really appreciated the room upgrades that he would get, right? But it wasn't the room upgrade itself that was the thing that got him. It was this extra perk. And the way that he told it was when he would go to check in and he would get a room upgrade, which happened quite frequently because he was a business traveler, he knew he got a good room because when he went into the room, it would have jelly beans in it. Now, not every room was a jelly bean room, as he called it, right? But when he got the jelly beans, it made him feel special. So much so that, he really lit up when he told us this story. So I'm telling you this not because I think it's important for us to think about how to give our travelers more candy, but more to really underline the opportunity that we have here, right? To create surprise and delight, right? Both in big and small ways for our high-value travelers. And I think we think about it, how can we do this and create more of these jelly bean moments on Booking.com, but how can we also do this in connection with our partners? So moving on from this, what are we doing and how are we investing? So really 3 ways that we're focusing on investing in our high-value traveler segment now. First is through more personalized and targeted experiences, and we're doing this through the application of preferences and also on creating more consistency around the customer experience across the entire customer journey. But we're also investing in differentiated service by creating dedicated customer service agents that will look after the needs of our high-value travelers only. And then finally, and maybe most importantly, we are investing in new and exclusive rewards and benefits for these travelers across the connected trip. But I think what's important to take away here is that we really believe that this investment in high-value travelers that we are making represents an opportunity for you, our partners, to have more effective targeting, but also tailor messaging, offers, incentives in ways that will acquire and attract more and more of these high-value travelers to your properties, and perhaps maybe even more jelly beans. Thank you.
Nailing it. Just zipping right through. We are now halfway through our lightning talks. And on to our next segment, we are moving on to alternative accommodations or vacation rentals, another ongoing priority and one of the fastest growing segments for us. To share a bit more on our progress and plans for the year ahead, I'd like to welcome to the stage Eric Bragaglia. He is our Senior Director of the Accommodations segment.
Hi, everyone. Fifth presenter. Still okay? Hopefully the French accent will make it entertaining. So I'm Eric. I'm looking after what we call homes. And to tell you about homes, I wanted to tell you about a Friday morning in November 2019. I was having breakfast with my kids. It was cold and rainy outside, like every morning in Amsterdam. And so to lighten the mood a bit, I asked my kids, where would you like to go for the holiday in February next year, right? School holidays are coming, we'll need to book something soon. And my older son, Roman, told me, well, what about somewhere sunny, like Spain? Well, that's a great idea. I love that. Anywhere specifically in Spain? Well, maybe we could go back to our apartment in Spain and spend the whole week there. I said, yeah, again, great idea, except that we don't have a place in Spain. And I started being a bit worried, right? So I started digging a bit and started arguing. Yeah, we have a place in Spain, and you know, the one with the nice balcony, the view on the fortress, etc. After a couple of minutes, I realized one thing. Booking had made it easier for me to book the perfect apartment for my family trip to Spain. And one of you, our partners, had made it unforgettable to the point that my son, my 7-year-old son at the time, thought it was one of his homes, right? I've been telling everybody at school about it. So what am I telling you this today? Just because Roman is just one of the 1.4 billion guests who, since 2010, has been staying at one of the properties that we have on Booking.com. So we've been in that space for a long time. We've seen steady growth in that space. And last year was the best year ever that we had on the home space. 3 numbers here, 56, 32, not the winning lottery numbers from last night, but things that talk to the growth that we're experiencing in the home space. 56% growth versus 2021, 11% versus the pre-pandemic levels. 30% of the room nights, of the total company room nights, come from alternative accommodations and counting. And according to some leading research firms in the industry, we've been growing at twice the rate of the market, gaining share, something that also many partners here have been confirming to us. So exciting things. But also, good news, the best is yet to come. 2/3 of the travelers who have booked a home with Booking.com come back to book more, right? And the 2 key things that they like about it is price competitiveness versus other type of accommodations, as well as just the type of amenities and facilities that you can experience with a home. And more good news, it's just we've just scratched the surface. The majority of the Booking.com travelers are yet to try a home with us. So plenty of growth for you, all of us here to capture in the coming years. And also important to know, because here we don't have only home partners in the room, that it benefits the entire ecosystem, right? Having all accommodations, that type of unique experiences on the platforms, that drives more than just growth in the industry, right, in the home industry. It's the product that we develop sometimes also end up benefiting hotel partners and other type of accommodations. Customers who come maybe first with a slight home intent end up with a hotel booking. So all of this together is making it a big opportunity for the future. How did we get there? What's been fueling that growth that we've been seeing? What will fuel in the rest of the growth that is coming? Well, our commitment to act on your feedback, just this. I think this is the commitment we've been having with this industry for a while now, and clearly this is where we are and with you. So what I mean by growing thanks to your continuous feedback, just look at product, for example, last year. Just like you asked, we launched a liability insurance product. We launched a damage policy program. We launched great improvements in the payment space for all our larger partners. We did solve a lot of pain points on review score, working with external review scores, some things we haven't necessarily done in the past, right? Extended stays, we're playing that field now. And maybe one thing that is very a testament to that and to that commitment is request to book. The much requested request to book feature, we piloted that last year. After 25 years of instant book, we did that. Why? Just because you asked. So thanks to this, we've seen performance across the board for all our alternative accommodation partners. And for example, 50% improvement in the time to your first booking for new partners joining in their first 4 days. That's just one of the numbers that we've seen that is showing us that we are on the right path in that space. Last but not least, marketing. Many of you have, over the years, mentioned the fact that we're not necessarily investing enough in this. Well, guess what? And our marketing friends before told you about this. We've been investing heavily in that space. Look at the Idris Elba and Melissa McCarthy ads during the Super Bowl. Homes are front and center everywhere, more things coming. This picture here, part of a new brand expression that we're going to roll out in bolder campaigns coming soon. So a lot of exciting things to come. Join us this afternoon. We have a home session. This is the time where we advertise for our sessions, so I'll do that. Home session this afternoon. We'll talk about what we've been up to. We'll talk about what's coming next. And also, we want to get more of the feedback that will help you make it just unforgettable for another 1 billion or more guests on Booking.com. So thanks a lot. Enjoy Click, and see you soon.
Thank you, Eric. Okay, moving straight along. Another focus area and a key market for travel and for Booking.com is the US. To share a little bit more about how we are working to differentiate ourselves in the US and to provide a better service to both the US traveler and the US partner, I'd like to welcome back to the stage James Waters, our SVP of Accommodations. James.
Hello again. I'd like to start by addressing a couple of what might be elephants in the room, if I might. So first of all, you've heard and are going to hear some American accents. I have a very stereotypically posh South of England accent, in case you hadn't noticed already. We do have a team leading our US effort of US employees, surprisingly, but the person who ideally would speak to you couldn't this week. So hey, unfortunately, you've got me as a backup. And the second question might be, why am I standing here in Amsterdam talking to a collection of partners based in Europe, Middle East, and Africa about the US? I believe this is relevant, and so my challenge will be to make sure that you do by the time I finish in 5 or 6 minutes' time. So first things first, let's talk about some of the things we've already done. The US being a focus for Booking is not a secret, and it's not new. And we've been focused in a few areas. We've been focused in building brand awareness in the United States with consumers there. We began that before COVID. For obvious reasons, things took a step back during the pandemic, and now we're back in the market, and you've seen bits and pieces and clips of the content with Melissa McCarthy already, and you will see more of them. And you can see on the slide we've made progress on awareness. We've focused on building our flights business. Very, very important part of travel in the United States. We've also made a large number of product step changes. Our payments capabilities, alternative payment methods for consumers and for partners. We have focused a lot on our home business in the US and product launches there, bringing a damage deposit product to market, insurance, request to book is something that's possible. You can come to and join us as a request-to-book partner as a trial in the United States and in the UK and France. So we're seeing how that works out. And we've made a lot of investments into connectivity. So lots of things have happened. How's that worked out? Well, sorry, I've missed an important one there. I didn't talk about ads. We didn't have an ads product live when we were sitting here together last year. We now do, including in EMEA. And the results of that are positive. But why should all of you care? I think there's 3 reasons. The first is that I've just touched on some of the product things that we've been doing where the US has added even an extra push on top of asks that already came to us. Now, I stood here, not here, I stood in Amsterdam last year at Click, for those of you that were here, and was very honest that I felt that where we hadn't done a good job to this point with our partners was in thinking about segmentation. And I shared the analogy that I used to work on Google advertising with Booking. And it used to frustrate me immeasurably when I would want a feature from Google. And they would say, yeah, but our long-tail users in Google AdWords front end don't use it. And I was like, I don't care. I use the API. Why am I interested? And I said we need to do a better job of making sure that we built products that made sense for different types of partners, different sizes of partners, different verticals, and people using different channels. And the US has really forced us to do that. So there are cross-pollination benefits of the work that we're doing. Some of the products that I've mentioned, you're aware of, they're live in EMEA, they're beneficial to you too. Second reason is, I think there's no doubt that there's an untapped opportunity to have more US travelers come to Europe. That's in particular. Middle East and Africa as well, but particularly Europe. There's a very domestic nature to that business we can benefit from. And the third reason is now it's more relevant than ever. Silly story to illustrate. When I was growing up, my mum's best friend lived next door to us, and she's got a daughter who's 2 weeks older than me. So this is like my best friend for life, and she's a huge skier. And she now lives on the east coast of the US. And the ski trip for her and her husband is like the biggest moment of the year. I mean, this is kind of like they got engaged on the top of a mountain, kind of ski is important in their life. By the way, if you're thinking of doing that, just one bit of advice. She's only hurt herself once in 15 years of skiing. She actually broke her leg skiing down from the moment she got proposed to. So if you propose to someone at the stop of a ski trip, take a while to calm down before you try to ski down to the bottom. It works better. But slight unfortunate things aside, she came to Europe this year. And the reason was they were looking at the cost of the flight, the lift passes, the accommodation in dollars inside the US versus coming to Europe. And with the nature of the exchange rates, it was cheaper for them to come to Europe than it was to be in the US. So there's an opportunity to bring US travelers to Europe in a volume we never have before and open up a new market. And the data is clear that once people come once, they come back. So there's a big piece here. That should translate into US into Europe growth numbers look strong. And indeed they do. So there's a real chance here for the people sitting in the room to bring customers in now from the US and build that relationship for the future and encourage them to come back again. I was going to click super fast off this slide, but there's so many photos being taken, I feel like I should wait 5 seconds. Are those customers attractive to have with your business? Absolutely. They come for longer, they spend more. By the way, your staff will appreciate it as well, because the tipping culture means that the staff do well out of it, so it works from an engagement perspective as well. So there's lots of opportunity here. I'm not going to tell you all of the opportunities there are to take advantage of it. You know your businesses better than me. There are many channels that are not booking that I'm sure this insight is relevant to, and you can think about how to act upon. But just immediate thoughts, since we are here with Booking today, on things that, for example, will help you maximize the growth opportunity here. So our early booking rates, our flex rates. Breakfast is a huge deal to US consumers, by the way. Having breakfast included in your rate will really make it much more of an attractive proposition to the travelers there. And obviously, sponsored ads can be targeted specifically to the US audience as well. So that's a product we've rolled out recently towards EMEA. Perfect timing, I think, to take advantage of this. So I'm very happy the clock hasn't come behind me. I think someone has, yeah, there we go, 1 minute to go. I wanted to at least test out the system. So there you go. Hopefully it gives you a little bit of a flavor of what we've done, and hopefully I've made at least some progress in explaining why you've got a posh southern British accent talking about US travelers to a room full of people based in EMEA. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, James. Now on to our final lightning talk of this segment, and ending with a bang, payments. At Booking.com, by taking on more of the workload to process payments, we can provide additional value, security, peace of mind to both our customers and our partners. To share more on this journey, I'd like to welcome Daniel Marovitz, our SVP of fintech.
Thank you for sticking around. I mean, payments, fintech, this is where the party is. So that's good. I appreciate the vote of confidence. You know, people often say that you know, if you work in payments, they're kind of like, oh, payments, it's sort of sterile, a little bit boring. And I always say, well, look, if you want to watch somebody get really agitated, you know, you mess with their family or you mess with their cash. So, you know, usually this is where the emotion is in payments. As you all know, the goal of Booking.com is to help people experience the world. And one of the things that we realized about 5-6 years ago is that one of the biggest sources of friction in travel is financial stuff. And it's challenging for bookers and it's challenging for partners for sure. And we've been attacking this problem aggressively now for more than half a decade. In 2017, less than 2% of Booking.com's business went through what we refer to as PBB, Payments by Booking. It's now more than 40% on a global basis and even higher than that in Europe. So we've really been on a fundamental transformation of our business model at a really basic level. So let me talk for a minute about why. Why would you want to join payments as a partner? So the first thing I would say is that fraud and chargebacks are a real and a growing problem in the e-commerce world. And in Payments by Booking, we protect partners from fraud and chargeback. And that's not only a financial cost, but also operationally, it's complex and expensive to manage. And it's something that is core to the proposition. We also are trying increasingly to offer flexibility. So we pay out partners with bank transfers and also with virtual credit cards. That's now a choice in most markets that partners are able to make. We're also increasing the speed of those bank transfer payouts. Those of you who've been working with Booking for a long time know that we used to move along the rhythm of our kind of monthly cycle. That's becoming weekly and now increasingly daily. And that's something that we'll continue to work on throughout the world to increase the speed of payouts to partners. We know, of course, that that's really important. It affects working capital. It affects your cash management. Speaking about that topic, I'd love to just talk about for a moment something that I think is really exciting and innovative that we're doing this year, which we refer to as Merchant Cash Advance. This is, if you think about our core objective as a company, which is to help partners grow their business, to help give them more robust and powerful business models, we know that in travel, this is an unusual corner of the e-commerce world because there's such intense seasonality. There really aren't very many categories of e-commerce where whole businesses just shut for the season. But of course, that happens all the time in hotels. And so a product that we are launching in a pilot mode this year in the United Kingdom is a product that will enable partners to get access to cash for refundable reservations before they happen. So we think it's a big step forward in a way that we can offer further value to the partner ecosystem and help to take some of the pressure out of the system connected to the seasonality of travel, which has been a problem, obviously, since travel started. So let me flip over and talk for a minute about the booker side of the equation. When the internet really got moving and online travel got started, there was this sense, 15 years ago or so, that Visa and MasterCard in particular, which were already very, very global companies and have been global already for decades, that their dominance would just extend across the world. And that would sort of be how we manage payments at a cross-border internet basis. And in fact, what's happened is kind of just the opposite. Not to say that Visa and Master aren't still big and prevalent, they are. But what's also happened is that alternative payment methods or local payment methods have positively exploded. There are more than 1,000 methods across the world with pretty reasonable volume behind them. Not all of them relevant to travel, but it's a really dynamic space. So we now offer 23 different alternative payment methods. It represents 20% of our paid bookings. So again, just an enormous change versus how Booking.com was operating and how bookers were operating half a decade ago. And we're going to continue to expand it. We'll be adding roughly 6 more alternative payment methods through the course of this year, and it's something we'll continue to accelerate as we move into 2024. We know that local payment methods offer real benefits. We can see conversion uplift and greater loyalty from partners, from bookers who are able to pay in a method which is convenient and familiar to them. It's part about making our experience local and relevant in the same way that we offer bookers the ability to buy in 43 different languages. I'll also talk for a minute about foreign exchange. So, foreign exchange is a topic which many people find very confusing. It's an area of the financial world which is also filled with cost and filled with uncertainty. Circa 30% of all of the transactions that happen on Booking.com are not only cross-border, but also cross-currency. So this is an area where we're increasing our investments over the course of this year. We think that providing the ability for bookers to be confident about what they're paying in their local currency, that they have transparency about the rate that's applied, and that the rate that is applied is one which is very fair and hopefully better than what they can achieve through the traditional credit card ecosystem. We think that's a place where we can add real value and make Booking.com a platform for bookers where they have trust and they have confidence. Once again, what's the goal here? Remove friction from people who want to experience the world, take the financial risk, the financial doubt away from that experience, and make it something that's comfortable and secure. We've got an enormous number of things happening across fintech on a global basis, and we're growing the team tremendously. We added more than 300 people to the group last year. We'll do about the same this year. So it's just an enormous investment in the company, in finding solutions for partners and bookers to make financial complexity go away. I look forward to meeting with you. Please find me out in the hall, find members of the team, and look forward to discussing how we can help take friction out so people can more easily experience the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Daniel. And thank you actually to all of our speakers who made it well within the 7 minutes today. That's it for us. I hope you enjoyed this format, and I hope that you're walking away with a better understanding of our priorities and how through these priorities, from connected trips to payments and everything in between, we are working to make it easier for travelers and also add value every step of the way for all of you, our partners. As you heard many of our speakers already say, they will be at the breakout session, so if you want to learn more, they will be available, because 7 minutes is short. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the rest of Click. Thank you very much.